online once again, and hope he is doing pretty well. The grammar that I have brought for you today is the past perfect tense. Okay, it's a tense, past perfect tense. And in the past perfect tense, it is mandatory to use third form of the verbs. Okay, because all the perfect tenses, no matter I talk about the present perfect tense, no matter I talk about the past perfect tense, no matter I talk about the future perfect tense, so all these perfect tenses, the third form of verbs. Okay, so the action word should be the third form of verb, or we can call it the past participle forms. Okay, so we have certain situations of using the simple, like using the past perfect tense. Remember one thing that is quite clearly just as inevitable as the third form of the verb. There's past perfect tense is never possible to be used without the combination of simple past tense. Okay, how? So let's have a look at it. Okay, students, let's get started with the past perfect tense that I had announced. Okay, so let's get started with the explanation. Okay, so let me share the screen here. Let's move on. That's it. Hopefully, you can see the screen here. Okay, so let's get started. Let me broaden it up for you. Okay, students, here it is the past perfect tense. Okay, and as I told you that the past perfect tense is entirely incomplete without the combination of the simple past tense. Okay, so this example in front of you, it is there. So read it properly and try to understand it. Here, the two different times are given, 10:30 and at 11. Okay, so the party is going on here. So Paul and Sarah, they both are here. So the situation is what? Sarah went to the party last week and Paul went to the party too, but they did not see each other. Paul left the party at 10:30 and Sarah arrived at the party at 11 o'clock. So obviously what happens? Then they did not meet each other. Okay, so when Sarah arrived at the party, Mr. Paul had already left the party. Okay, that means they did not meet each other. So how can we describe the situation? The situation would be when Sarah arrived at the party, Paul was not there. That means he had gone home. So the word he had gone home, had plus third form of verb, or the past participles here. So the past participles. So that shows that the action happened in the past. Sarah went to the party in the past. Paul went to the party in the past too. But before Sarah arrived at the party, Paul had left for home, or Paul had gone home. Okay, that means Paul left the party before Sarah entered into the party at 11 o'clock. Okay, so let's talk about some more example here. Here that it is clearly written, I will share this document with you in the beneath this conversation, beneath this video. I will share it into the description. The past perfect had plus participle form, and participle form internationally it is known as the third form of verb. Okay, again I should speak it up. Students, remember your past perfect tense is never possible without the combination of simple past. Means over here what? I'll let you know a moment later. Here, let's talk about one of the more example, but before the example, let me read it to you. This is quite important. Sometime we talk about something that happened in the past. For example, Sarah arrived at the party. Okay, so over here, I'll still talk about these two situations. Sarah arrived at the party. okay, and Paul arrived at the party too, but they did not meet each other. So it's been a long sentence that like I have to explain. Sarah went to the party, Paul went to the party, but they did not see each other because Paul entered there by 10:30 and Sarah like left, like Sarah left the party by 11, like 11 o'clock, or Sarah entered the party at 11 o'clock, and Paul left earlier. Okay, so my overall conversation was a bit opposite here, but here something that happened in the past, but something earlier. So the part of earlier one should be expressed as past perfect tense. Okay, for example, some like Sarah arrived at the party. I told you about this. Okay, so the thing is written here. When Sarah arrived at the party, Paul had already gone home. What does this mean? Mean when Sarah arrived at the party at 11 o'clock, that means here, let me take you to the picture again. When Sarah arrived at the party at 11 o'clock, she did not meet Mr. Paul. Why? Because Mr. Paul said bye-bye to everybody at 10:30 p.m. So that's why Sarah could not meet Mr. Paul. So when Sarah arrived at the party, Paul had gone. That means both the actions were past, but this action, what Mr. Paul did, was done earlier. So the earlier action should be termed as, or should be written as, or should be spoken as past perfect tense. Without the combination of simple past, I cannot directly speak it out. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on some like further as well. So here's some more example. When we got home last night, we found that somebody had broken into my flat. What does this mean? This means that when last night, when I went to my home, so simple past, I found that, simple past, somebody had broken into my flat. That means before I entered into my flat last night, somebody had broken into my flat means somebody had already come into my flat. Okay, they had already come into my flat, and somebody had taken something from there and went off. So this happened before my arrival yesterday into my flat. So this is all about past perfect tense, and you can see we have added two different past situations all about here in the with the combination of the simple past tense. We had now used the past perfect. Another one, Karen did not want to go to the cinema because she had already seen the movie twice. Did not want yesterday, last week, last month, whatsoever. Okay, yesterday, Karen did not want to go to the cinema. Simple past. Because what was the reason? Because when we offered her to go to the cinema, she had already seen that movie twice. That's the reason she did not come with us. Why? Because already she had done this action. Already she had watched that movie. That's why. And she had watched this movie. That means that movie was watched earlier than we had been watching at that moment. Okay. So at first, another example, at first I thought I had done the right thing, but soon I realized that I had made a big mistake, right? At first, I'm talking about the whole situation in the past, okay? So at first, I thought I had done the right thing. That means earlier something. Right now I'm thinking that, let's suppose I'm talking about yesterday, okay? So yesterday I was thinking I had done something good yesterday. I've done something right there. But soon I realized I had done something right there. This happened when I'm talking about my earlier past, okay? And soon realized that I had made a mistake. I had apostrophe D. I had made a mistake means over here that earlier when I just did right, I thought that I had done right. That means it was not a right thing for me. It was a mistake. That means both my actions were done earlier than when I started realizing it. Okay. Now, one thing more. The man sitting next to me on the plane was very nervous. I'm talking about my last month visit to United States. Okay. So there was a man sitting beside me in my airplane. Okay. And he looked quite nervous. So how am I speaking that? The man sitting next to me on the plane was very nervous. He hadn't flown before. That means before sitting on that plane, that man did not fly before. It surely means that this action was did not sit before means that he had not flown before. Why? Because before sitting into that plane, even earlier than that, he had not flown ever in his life. It was his first time. So that's why he was getting nervous. Okay, so we have something more here, right? Like, for example, I don't want to confuse you here with the past perfect tense or the present perfect tense, because the present perfect tense is all about a new one. It's a new, like in a separate, a separate video. I had just I'm going to explain it up. So right now I am just retelling this again, and here you can see you have to focus, you have to replay it again and again and again, and so that you can understand the situation about the past perfect tense. Okay, so this situation can make you quite quite understandable. Like for you, it becomes quite understandable for you when you would be like focusing on this picture, and especially the situation of Sarah and Mr. Paul. Okay, so hopefully, I guess you have like you might have like learned something from here. So some of your confusion might have like gone, or something you might have cleared. Some of your confusion might have cleared a bit today. Okay, so till then, that's it. So let me stop my sharing.